Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey. So make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. So for all your tea sipping needs, make sure to check out lovelyti.net or amazon.com/shop.com/lovelytea. Thank you guys so much for your support and stay tuned for the video. All right, so I want to come on here and talk about this whole Beyonce situation, okay? You guys have been asking me. So if you guys don't know, Beyonce is accused of using witchcraft on one of her drummers. And the woman, what's so insane is that the woman didn't come out to the media, telling the media this. She quietly filed a restraining order on Beyonce. Somehow the media got a hold of her restraining order, and when they read it, it was insane. She's saying that Beyonce cast spells on her. She was jealous of her. She made her cat sick. Beyonce has done all types of just really sinister things to her, and this woman is literally scared for her life, okay? And right now, the woman, her name is Kimberly Thompson, has decided to do an interview with the Daily Mail. I want you guys to go ahead and check out her interview really quick. Check this out, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
I definitely did that to definitely be so clear to cut the cord that I don't want to have anything to do with this person at all. I don't want to work with them. I'm even embarrassed that I have worked with them because it's literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. So if I have always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything, but this I regret. I regret that we ever worked together because it's turned my life completely upside down. She's not been able to let me go. She's not been able to let me progress into a mature woman and work with other people, build other great entities and statues and trophies that develop in the arts world and music. She's just been a savage, stealing my intellectual property, stealing my ideas, just basically doing anything and everything to damage any type of happiness that I could have had. It's just been a nightmare to try to move on and do other things with other people without it getting totally destroyed. Other people I've worked with that have been on a plateau have been paid to fire me. I found this out, and then it just kept happening. So it was a pattern. You get really excited about something, you build it up, you invest all this time and everything in it, and then, she comes and pays people to fire me and insult me, and it's just been disastrous. I think there's a huge amount of jealousy there that she hasn't discussed with me, and but everybody knows, it's interesting that, the public doesn't know all these things, but the people that are associated in the higher powers, to say more or less do, and I've just been bullied this entire time. This has been going on for a very long time. This has been going on since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I love them. I send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of things. It will be a year that I got the cat and the cat died, today. Beautiful kitten. She's 3 months old. She was abused, and, I went and picked her up. She was beautiful. And we had a good time for a moment, and then, a lot of weird stuff started happening, and then so I decided to take it back, and I took it back, and the cat started doing weird magical stuff. I'm telling the person, the nurse, hey, I don't want this kitty. Please take it back. It's being weird. And I don't, I've lived with cats for almost 20 years as a child. These behaviors I'm experiencing from this cat is challenging my 20 years of education with living with a cat. And so something's wrong with this kitten, and I don't want it. I kept the cat out of guilt, out of, emotional ambiguity. I drained my bank account on the situation, and then I took the cat to the West Coast to do a job in San Diego, La Jolla, and more bipolar activity started happening. I was getting abused. It was so manic and gnarly that I ended up calling 2 psychics to, I got the first word from the first psychic, and I didn't want to believe it, so I called later after right before this happened, to get a confirmation to make sure, because I didn't want to release this cat. I have an emotional attachment to pets, as we all do. And they were like, the cat has a spell on it. And I said, well, what about this person, that we are discussing at this time? They're like, yes, this person put the spell on the cat, and you need to get rid of it, like right away. You need to do something, because otherwise you're going to be in really, really, really huge trouble.
Molly, you in danger, girl. Only 80s babies and 90s kids know where that damn came from, okay? Kimberly, run, bitch, run, okay? This entire situation to me is just insane. Let me go ahead and tell you guys how I feel about this, okay? One, I do find it interesting that this woman worked with Beyonce for 7 years. For 7 years, she didn't say a peep, okay? But once she was fired, all of a sudden, here comes this tale. But I will say this. I'm not going to dismiss her claims, because I know people can attack you spiritually, okay? There's been a lot of stuff that's happened to me this week, and I'll probably do a live stream to go into depth. But people can attack you spiritually, and especially if you're a very spiritual person, you'll be able to feel that. And we have to also realize that the industry is very dark and occultish. Jay-Z definitely, studies occultism. We've all seen him in his Aleister Crowley shirt where it says, do what thou wilt, you know what I mean? On top of that, let's not forget a while back, Jay-Z was running really hard with Marina Abramovich. And she is one of the leading witches in Hollywood. She does a lot of spirit cooking. So ask yourself, you know what I'm saying? If they're not into things like this, why are they running around with the likes of Maria Abramovich? And if you don't know who she is, then you guys can just Google her and find out more about her. Maria is a very, very dark woman. So when I seen them kind of attaching themselves and their brand to her, it definitely made my ears perk up. So I don't think that everything that this lady is saying is a lie. I believe that the truth lies somewhere in the middle. There's so much symbolism in the music. Nothing is by happenstance when it comes to a lot of these, entertainers and celebrities. And that just doesn't go for Beyonce and Jay-Z, but for everyone, okay? There's always symbolism in the music. There's a lot of occult references. There's a lot of dark and positive energies in the music industry. So I would not be surprised if what some of this woman is saying is true, okay? You guys all know I am a slight conspiracy theorist. That is what I watch on YouTube. I watch more truthers and conspiracy channels than anybody. That's what I usually come onto YouTube to watch. So there's definitely some merit to what this woman is saying, but I also find it funny that for 7 years she was good until she got fired. So what really happened behind the scenes? You know what I'm saying? Was this some type of sex magic that was going on, and then they eventually just stopped fucking with her, and now she's in her feelings? But the craziest things that you guys can imagine, where you would think like, no, this has to be fake, this has to be some type of tall tale. It tends to be true when it comes to the industry, okay? So don't just dismiss her as crazy. It's very easy to say that she's crazy, and to write her off. That's the easiest thing to do, like Dave Chappelle said, is to call somebody crazy because it's dismissive. It means you don't have to dig, you don't have to investigate, you don't have to get to the bottom of it, okay? So I'm not going to be dismissive of her thoughts, but I am going to question why she waited so long, and I'm also going to question this. When it comes to spiritual warfare, a restraining order is not going to help. Obviously, she understands spirits and occultism from what she was saying in that interview. So this restraining order is not going to help her. The entire industry is very, very corrupt. Witchcraft and occultism run the industry. Even in that ape shit video, what do you guys first see? You guys see a fallen angel. Lot of stuff. There's a lot of symbolism that you have to look for. So I'm not going to just dismiss her claims, because again, we live in a world where there's a lot of battles going on, esoterically, spiritually, good, evil, all that type of stuff, and all this stuff, all this occultism runs the world. It affects our teachers, politicians, mayors, entertainers, things like that. So don't be so blind as to think that everything is peachy cream. So much stuff lies beneath the surface, and I'm done talking about this shit. Y'all go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. I don't want to go deep because my channel is not an esoteric channel. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts. Do you guys think that Beyonce is performing brujeria, juju, witchcraft, and everything else on this woman? Or do you guys feel like this woman is batshit crazy? Or do you guys feel like this woman is ape shit crazy? All right, Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I hope you really enjoyed that video. If you want to know more about my look of the day, or if you want a way to contact me concerning advertisement and sponsorship deals, definitely feel free to click my description box. There's plenty of information in there. Please stay tuned for the next video. Talk to y'all later.